We're at Ashcraft Produce, Ashland Produce. And what's your phone number?
538-6031.
Okay. And we like to get our produce from them, and they're coming to the end of their season, so they have potatoes and pumpkins left. Potatoes are fantastic. If I go into the potato storehouses, they've had sprout nip on them, and I've had the bad experience that they just rot in my boxes. So getting them from it's so sad, because then you have these stinky nasty, but I have yet to have any of your guys actually rot. They sprout eventually. Yeah. Okay, and where are you located?
Our address is 158 North, 4544 East, and we're on the Rigby-Ryrie Highway 48. We're like 8 miles from Rigby and 2 miles from Ryrie, right on the highway.
Awesome. Okay, and there's signs. There's signs out there that say produce available, and it's really fun.
Yep.
This is a normal potato box right here. You can see how tall it is. And this is the lid that goes with it. It's a big lid, but generally for potatoes that you go and get that's just been shipped in, they actually don't even have these little holes in them. They're just closed like an apple box. So these boxes actually have a little more ventilation than most. This is a peach box. It has holes everywhere, and it's more shallow. For one thing, it makes it lighter. For another, it makes it fit into our shelves. But most importantly, it means you don't have a huge layer of potatoes in there that can't get oxygen. So when I go buy my potatoes, I could go get them at the spud cellar here down the street, but I have found that they rot. They're sprayed with sprout nip, which keeps them from sprouting. And when you keep it from sprouting, it stops respiring, it stops breathing, because when it sprouts, it loses a lot of moisture, and that's what makes it shrivel up, is it's losing moisture. And so I have had nothing but bad luck. I've had rot inside a box of regular potatoes in one of these boxes that has sprout nips on it. I've had that rot within 5 days of purchasing it. And doing it this way, I still have good potatoes through till April anyway, and then it only just starts to sprout. It doesn't rot. I do keep it in a dark, cool place. I have tried to keep it in my garage before, but because we get -30 Fahrenheit, our garage doesn't stay warm enough, and so I've had it freeze in our garage. So instead, I just keep it in our basement in what we call our little root cellar. So I fill it up until I can comfortably get those flaps to shut. Since this is out here next to a window, while I'm loading it up, I will cover it back up so that it's not getting sunshine. You do not want sunshine on your potatoes. And then I go ahead and close it up, and I got these from Ashcrafts. They're super nice. These are Yukon Golds, if I remember correctly. And we also get reds from them and russets, but they have like 8 different varieties of potatoes, and they're all good. And if you get as many as I get, you get them for a really good deal. Otherwise, they're $15 and $20 a box. Russets for $15. Yukon Golds and the other colored thinner skinned potatoes are $20. This is where we store our potatoes. You can see that these are not potato boxes. They're not like an apple box, which is tall and doesn't have holes in it. And I was going to show you. These are empty boxes, peach boxes specifically. You can see the holes in the bottom. There's holes in the top. There's holes in the side. There's holes all over it, and it's a shallower box so they can breathe a lot better. So once our boxes are empty, we come and stack them back down in the storage room. And they're light enough that I can carry them up without a problem, and I just put them in my pantry, and we go through potatoes quickly enough that generally we go through one of these every 2 weeks. This is what the box looks like that got left in the storage room. It is, let's see, it is starting all sorts of little baby spuds on it. Let's see if it'll focus. See all those little round things? Those are little tiny baby spuds. It was dark enough down here that nothing went green, but everything tried to grow little potatoes for us, but we had absolutely no rot. What they did was dry. They didn't rot, they sprouted, and they just shriveled up. And that's not a bad thing. We don't have sprout nip on them, so we don't have any kind of poisonous stuff on it. It's dry, it doesn't smell bad. If I had left it in enclosed boxes, it would smell bad, and it would just get rotten. So once things start to sprout a little bit, that's when we start cooking them and feeding them for the pigs.